Hello, and welcome to another edition of Zero Uncut. My name is Zero, as normal.
And my name is Bobby, and guys, I got to be honest with you, not a lot happened in the last week, so this is probably going to be a quick show. Just,
Yeah, well,
it's just how
yeah,
it is.
yeah. No,
It's
it's obviously we.
what events happened this past week? Come on,
Well, of
let's
course,
be
we had
fair.
WrestleMania, didn't we? So I mean, so that's
Oh, that was this past weekend. Oh, I
yeah,
had
that
no
was this
idea.
past weekend.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That was out there. Yeah, so we might as well get straight into it then. So we were actually discussing this just before we came on air. So all the stuff with The Rock. I wanted to bring this one up first because I've actually got a tweet open in front of me. Obviously, The Rock never showed up at WrestleMania after teasing it. Now, it's come down because The Rock basically appeared on Pat McAfee's show, and Tom Anna said that he was never expected to work WrestleMania. He was never expected to be involved with the Cody and Cena feud. And basically, the only reason why he done that bit was because Ari Emanuel, the owner of TKO, basically said to him, do something, we're not selling tickets, basically. That's the whole thing. So I mean, it was a marketing ploy. He was told by Ari to basically come on in at Elimination Chamber, do something involving those two because the match just was not selling. Nobody was interested in it, and that tickets were not selling at all for it, especially for night two. After it got announced, it was Cena versus. Obviously, after the potential that it was one of those people who was in the Elimination Chamber got announced, so that would be what the night two main event was.
Hmm.
Basically, tickets were not selling. So Ari Emanuel to man said, "Look, we need you to come on in and do something to sell these tickets and make it seem like that you're working WrestleMania when there was no intentions for him to ever work WrestleMania at all."
Tell you what,
What do you think about that one? Is that sort of marketing ploy or
it
whatever it is?
shows. It shows that TKO just cares more about the money than the storylines. Why would you have The Rock an elimination chamber in Canada, but not have them at WrestleMania? If you want
Yeah,
to have them at Chamber and Mania, by all means.
yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, like this is what I've been saying for quite a while and stuff. Is basically TKO now. They don't care what the fans want. Basically, they don't care anymore, and there's even a video which you probably haven't seen yet, and I'm going to play this in a minute, right? And this could probably be quite shocking. This could be quite shocking for a few people as well because I've only seen this morning. Um, it's okay. No, actually, I'll play the video and then we'll discuss it. So this is from something that Triple H said. Now this has been leaked. This is a leaked video slash audio of it. So it's a little bit dodgy, but this is what Triple H said on Sunday after WrestleMania and after the night two finished that people were complaining about.
It's been a hell of a week. We've had a blast. Hope everybody was entertained. This was a lot of fun. I stood back there and laughed my ass off. The truth is, hopefully everybody had a blast at WrestleMania weekend. And if you didn't, I've got two words for you. Fuck off.
That's
So,
what is that from the roast?
yeah, that's on the roast thing. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think he's being serious though.
No, I mean, I don't think that, but I
That's
mean,
a
like,
yeah.
but this is the thing is,
Because they knew what he was going to say, they just flipped it on him.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Well, there's been a lot of reports come out over the past 24 hours that everything was up in the air, and apparently since then, hold on, let me get this right because there's been loads of them. Yeah, so originally the plan was is that Cody was meant to turn at WrestleMania, and Dwayne said that on the Pat McAfee show. No, sorry, they were going to originally turn Cody heel at Elimination Chamber, but Dwayne turned around and said, "No, we'll hold that off until Mania, or we'll hold that off until another time." When they then decided to have Cena then win the 17 at WrestleMania, instead they turned Cena heel for it. Now, the original plan from that, this is also come down as well this morning, is the original plan from that was Cena was never meant to turn at Elimination Chamber either. Dwayne apparently overrid Triple H's plans and got him to turn at Chamber because Cena was going to turn heel at Mania after winning the title. That was the original plans, that one was. After they decided to move to Cody heel turn. The plan is now is that for Cody to turn heel by because this is the thing, see, is that speech that Cena gave on SmackDown was actually meant to be form part of the storyline, where Cena obviously turned around and said, the only way you're ever going to beat me is if you basically turn your back on everyone. So in other words, turning heel, because that was what the original plans were, and that's what the original script and everything that was for Cody to turn heel and basically beat Cena.
I'm over the Cody heel turn. It ain't happening.
Yeah, and now obviously Dwayne Strowman said that it was meant to be happening. Well, that it's now happening at a later time. And I know what the current plan is, and obviously Dwayne said this, and this is also a lot of other reports as well confirming this now, is Cody is turning heel, and the way they're going to do it is basically revealed that Cody did actually sell his soul in the end, and he's going to turn on the fans, and that's going to be the only way that he's going to beat John Cena is by basically giving up what he loves the most, which is the fans. That's basically going to be it.
So stupid.
So that's how they're going to do it. Is basically they're saying the only way that Cody is going to be able to beat John Cena is by giving up what he which is what he respects the most and what he likes the most, which is the fans, basically. So that way, so you're going to have a heel Cody basically being like The Rock. So you're going to have him coming out there saying that the fans suck and everything. And and then that's going to be the only way that he's going to defeat Dwayne. That's going to be the only way that he's going to defeat Cena, basically, for it now.
Yeah,
that could either be at SummerSlam or it could be later on or whatever. But
I see it's going down at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but they've also got a new title ready because, as what Cena's been saying, is he will be the last ever champion. Now this week they've retired the Universal Championship, and this has pissed a lot of people off because obviously that Cody has been holding that unified undisputed championship since Roman dropped it.
Yeah.
WWE have officially said that Cody's reign with it doesn't count. They've declared that they've actually wrote Cody off from it because they're saying the Universal Championship officially was retired when Roman dropped it. So when Roman dropped the title and they replaced it with that one, they've now gone back on their word now, saying they've actually got on their website that the Universal Championship was dropped like a year or so ago.
So Cody was never a champ.
Cody was never Universal Champion. He's just been been WWE champion, basically. That's what they put it down.
I've been calling it the WWE Championship for the last year anyway. So
that's the thing is so now what they're doing now is the undisputed WWE Championship, which is what Cena's currently got. That one's being retired next. A brand new title design. Now the title design is looking like the WWE ID titles. I don't know if you've seen them, but they've got rid of the massive W logo. So the massive W that's on the title at the moment.
Yeah,
that's gone, and they basically replaced it with the WWE logo, but it's like really small on the belt. Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying with the smaller W.
Yeah, but it's actually got the WW and stuff like that on it, but it's really small. It's like up in either the top corner or like next to the thingy there. Have a look at the WWE ID Championship. So it's sort of like that. So that they've replaced them all with that. The designs of it and. It's any belt that has the big W on it is being changed. It's sort of a similar design like that. The new title's ready and stuff.
Oh, okay. It's like
Yeah, you see what I mean? So that's what the new title is going to look like. And how they're doing it, though, is they're not bringing... That title's ready and it's been backstage since Raw this week. But basically, they're just waiting for whenever Triple H decides to have Cena drop. Because then when Cena officially loses that match, he'll be the last holder of that title. And then they're bringing the new title in, which is now simply going to be called the WWE Championship. For it. So
WWE Championship? Never heard of it. Original.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, but obviously the title at the moment is the undisputed champion, the undisputed WWE title.
Even though it's pretty much just the WWE Championship.
Yeah. So they're going to officially count down the last ever holder of the undisputed one was John Cena. And then when they bring this new title in, it's going to have a brand new lineage, a brand new everything, basically. So it's going to basically be like a reset. So, like when they brought the World Heavyweight Championship in, and that was the complete reset, and they didn't count down the history of that one. That's basically what they're doing with this new title.
There's no point in... See, they're just doing too much. It's too much stupidity.
It's because TKO don't want anything to do with Vince. and they count the WWE Championship that we have at the moment to do. Well, yeah, this is the thing. Is basically
Kind of hard to do.
What the title they've got in at the moment, they count down as being related to Vince, and that's why they want to completely scrap that title design.
Okay,
that title name for it.
So we're scrapping the Intercontinental, United States, WWE.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I'm saying.
But-
Vince ran the business for what?
Yeah,
40-ish years.
yeah. But no, yeah. So that's
how you going to get rid of everything, Vince McMahon?
Yeah, but they just reckon that the big logo is basically Vince wise, so that's why they want to bring it into the new era and stuff, and and they want to sort of. That's why sort of any of the stars now that were Vince stars are sort of being replaced now with NXT talent, because that's then like the TKO. That's like the TKO roster, as they call it, really. That's like the TKO era. So that's what it is, and that's the reason why they've done all this thing, is because they don't want. Obviously, they're going to have Cena basically be the last champion of this era, and then they're going to officially start a new era when Cody wins the new title, and he's going to be the first ever champion of the new title, because they reckon that he's obviously going to be the ultimate sort of heel, sort of bad guy for it, and he's sort of going to be the one that's going to replace Roman for a little bit as like the top heel in the business. Now that obviously Roman's gone back to face, so it's stupid. The plans that they've got are stupid, but it's what they want to do.
Because literally Cody's saying, "Oh no, I did end up selling my soul." Okay, well, where's The Rock to confirm this? Oh, he's not here. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, that's been What is the thing? Is like apparently, obviously, Cody's going to turn heel and turn on the fans, because that's what he needs to do to be able to beat Cena.
It's too late now.
Now they could stretch it out till Cena's final ever match, and basically Cody beats him in December. And they give Cena a run till December with the title, and they, they could do that. Is they could literally have Cody beat him on his final ever match.
Don't let Cody Rhodes retire John Cena. Don't. No.
That one could be that one there, couldn't it? Where they do that, or like what you said, they do it at SummerSlam. They change the title over at SummerSlam.
That's what I'm expecting to happen anyway. But don't let Cody Rhodes retire John Cena.
Somebody brought up a good theory earlier, and I was looking at this and I was like, that could actually work. Is say like Dwayne is coming back in to actually deal with this. Is every time I said you do the rematch between Cody and Cena at SummerSlam and that, and then what you do is you actually then have, rather than Travis Scott coming out this time, you actually have Dwayne show up. And then basically Dwayne...
That's a tough task, it looks like.
Yeah. So you have Dwayne come out and you actually have Dwayne help Cody win the championship. And that's then how you do it. So that's how they reveal it, is basically is that Dwayne helps Cody win the championship, because he's fed up of like John Cena and that already and stuff. And, and that, I don't know, that's what they were saying for it. I seen it and was like, that could be quite interesting, as if they twisted it. And actually Cody's been winning. Of Rock or
gotta be honest. I don't see Dwayne being at SummerSlam.
Probably not. He couldn't even commit to that, could he? To Mania.
He couldn't even go to Vegas for Mania. Yeah. I don't see him going to New Jersey for SummerSlam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. Well, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, really. Innit? Anything could happen. Anything could happen. This is the WWE. Now, whilst we're on the subject of The Rock, basically, David LaGreca was going off on Busted Open Radio about Dwayne and about the whole storyline and about what Dwayne and that was saying on the Pat McAfee show. So Dwayne actually responded to Dave LaGreca earlier on today with the following: "Hi, Dave. The business is a complete work. Always has been, always will be. Every aspect of it, every match, every interview. Please join me, Cody, Cena, Brian, and the rest of us for our creative discussions so you can expand your perspective. Until then, stop ranting. It's not helping, my friend. Enjoy the show." So basically, he's basically telling everyone now that it is a complete work and that, and it's been complete work since the beginning, and he's basically telling the podcasters to completely shut up.
He's kind of exposing a little too much.
Yeah. So yeah, he is exposing it a bit too much. Now I don't understand why this is like sort of done that way, really. I don't understand why they're doing it this way. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Basically. you know, yeah. So I mean, this is the thing.
I don't know, because like I saw a little bit of him on the McAfee show, and like McAfee was trying to keep kayfabe alive. He was trying, but Dwayne was just like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing it." Like McAfee was like, "Oh yeah, you aligned with Cena. Were you ever worried that Cena wasn't gonna win?" And then Dwayne's just like, "Yeah, we made the decision to turn Cena heel months ago." Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Hang on. Sorry. Somebody just messaged me a minute. Sorry. Yeah, carry on. Yeah. So anyway, so we might as well get into WrestleMania now. And so obviously we have we won't bother going through Stand and Deliver because there's so many funny matches. I can't be bothered with that. You know.
Well, all right. We have new tag team champions, Hank and Tank.
Yeah.
And the top two champs stayed the same. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
Ricky
so
Starks
retained.
Roxanne is still lurking around NXT for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so not much really happened on that
one. We just covered the whole show.
So that's the whole show covered. So there was much, was there?
We have a new NXT Women's North American Champion in Sol Ruca. That was a crazy end to the match with what she did with the ladder. Never seen that before.
That's true.
And I believe that's it. Because the pre-show, Ricky Starks, tag team, both titles. Oh, and Stacks turned on D'Angelo.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so and apparently the D'Angelo family is now meant to be getting called up. Whichever was Tony's meant to be getting called up. I'm not sure.
Tony's been on NXT for 5 years or 4 years. Yeah. So
apparently the plan is for Tony and Rizzo to come on up. So I don't know about Stacks. Stacks hasn't been mentioned, but Load of Ice is on the call up list. Trick Williams is on the call up list. Tony and Rizzo are on the call up list. Apparently, there's 15 names from NXT on the call up list. Basically, what they want to do.
Let's just gut NXT.
Well, this is the thing: is obviously that ID program. That's how they're bringing them in. They're bringing them all in for Evolve and ID. So they're calling up a load of them up to main roster to then replacing them with all these ID talents that are ready to come on in, and all the Evolve talents that are ready to come on in for it. So because they've got that referee Jessica Carr on Evolve. She's wrestling as a wrestler.
Oh yeah,
she's actually on there as a mass wrestler on there now. Yeah, and that's so. So they've got that. But anyway, let's get in then to WrestleMania. So night one, we'll go through first of all. So we have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Jey Uso after he made Gunther tap out by submission. For it. So he made Gunther tap out by submission. Now, obviously, that led into something quite interesting on Raw where Gunther attacked Pat McAfee. He originally attacked Michael Cole and Pat McAfee.
That's going to be a great match.
Did you see Pat's comments afterwards on his show? Did you see him at all?
Well, didn't he say something to The Rock? Like, are you going to control your guys? And Dwayne was like anything can happen. Always keep your head on a swivel or something.
Yeah, it was that. But then Pat actually called out Gunther directly and turned around and said, he goes, I don't mind you attacking me because I can take it, but you don't attack the GOAT, Michael Cole. He turned around and said, now where you... Yeah, carry on.
Oh no, go for it. I just
He basically turned around and said that where you attacked my best friend Michael Cole and that, I'm not going to let you get away with this. Now he goes, now you're either going to be having it dealt with by me or by a friend of mine. Now this has obviously started off the speculations that that's where Goldberg comes in for it.
See, that's not my theory.
Because I know the rumored match for SummerSlam was still Gunther versus Goldberg because Goldberg wants his retirement match at SummerSlam.
See, I think they do. What was I going to say? Oh, okay, I think they do McAfee Gunther at Gold. Let me try that again. McAfee Gunther at SummerSlam. And that's to write off McAfee for the rest of the year so he can go do college football.
You reckon so? Because according to Pat, he's back at everything, and he's like he said he's perfectly fine.
He's back for a good chunk of the year, sure. But once September to December hits,
Oh yeah, he's got college football, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think you could have Gunther destroy him and write him off for the year, and then yeah, that's what I think. And plus,
Yeah.
I'm going to SummerSlam, so I would love to see McAfee and Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that could work. I mean, like I said though, the only reason why that's come up as rumors is because Goldberg has confirmed his final match will be this summer. Now, the only place which I can see is it'll be in SummerSlam.
Unless he does it
Because
at Money in the Bank in
because
LA, but that's a little weird.
that's been by, but yeah, this is thing see because he has confirmed, and so is WWE, that Goldberg's final match will be this summer. Now, where they kept saying summer, that's basically wrote out the Saudi show in November because that's why I thought they might have done it in Saudi,
Is it
but
summer in November in Saudi Arabia?
summer all the time in Saudi Arabia. But
Okay,
obviously,
well,
they were
there
saying
you
it like,
go.
yeah. But I mean, it could be the summer in there, but then it wouldn't make any sense because this year is Night of Champions, where of course all the championships are defended. So are you really going to have Goldberg in a championship match? That's
So
the thing.
wait, they're not gonna do. Um,
There's one Saudi show this year, which is Night of Champions in
when is
November.
that? November again? So
November, yeah, November.
there's no May or June show.
No, there's not though, because we've got three
Oh,
next year. Because
so
we've
they're
got three
just
next year, so
so
yeah.
they're just stacking it because of so they're going to be in Saudi twice in 3 months.
Yeah, because obviously
The Rumble.
the reason why because the only reason why we've got three next year is because well, why there's only one this year is because they basically turned around and said if you want Royal Rumble, then you only get one show this year. So the Royal Rumble counts down as basically the second show for this year. That's what it is. So that's why.
Okay.
So I mean, so that's the so this is what's making me think that Goldberg will be rested at SummerSlam. Now, the two options for that, which the names going round, is either Gunther or Bron Breakker. That's the two names that he wants, basically. Because apparently that's the matches that he wants as his final matches, either Bron Breakker or Gunther. So this is what's making me think now is that Pat McAfee's going to call in Goldberg to help out to basically.
Braun Breaker. I mean, Braun Breaker's a little busy right now.
Yeah, so it's got to be Gunther. This is the only problem. This is the thing, see, is if that's the only two names that are floating around for it, it's got to be Gunther.
Yeah,
and obviously this sets up the Michael Cole thing.
Because you got to bring Goldberg into the whole Seth thing.
Yeah.
Because
I
mean, Heyman's there, so it makes sense, but like I don't see it happening now.
No, so this is what's making me think is that maybe at say Backlash or something we get McAfee versus Gunther, or something else keeps going on and it leads into SummerSlam. And then at SummerSlam you finally have Goldberg there.
Actually, if this McAfee Gunther thing goes down, I don't think it's at Backlash. I see it going down at Money in the Bank.
That's a good point. Yeah, Money in the Bank. Yeah,
that's an excuse to not have Gunther in the match, and plus it's in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so so that would make sense. Yes, to do that at Money in the Bank, then so they can stretch it out to Money in the Bank, get that one to be done there. Say Gunther takes out McAfee and that for a little bit, and then Goldberg can come on in and basically like defend Michael Cole's honor or something like that, or I don't know, or working on behalf of Pat McAfee or whatever to take out Gunther. That would be the easiest way to do it, and then finally then have that match then at SummerSlam where you either have Goldberg having the win and defeating Gunther on the way out, or you have Gunther defeat Goldberg. That's the way you should do it.
I think you gotta give it to Gunther.
Probably. I mean, that would probably be easier, but it's but yeah, no, it's not that way. So, but yeah, so we've.
And is there a July paper? Is there a July pay-per-view?
I think it's Evolution. The rumor was Evolution.
They're doing Saturday night's main event. I mean, technically.
Yeah. So apparently that weekend, the rumor is at the moment that weekend is going to be the Saturday is the Saturday night main event for the men, and then the Sunday is going to be Evolution pay-per-view. So that Saturday night main event will just literally be male matches. You won't have any female ones on that because they'll be doing that on the Sunday. For it.
They're going to Australia in October.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so that's the thing. See, because of course we got on a Backlash. Which one's Paris? Where are they going for Paris? That's Backlash, isn't it?
Oh, that's interesting. They have January listed down for the Royal Rumble next year. I didn't think we even had a month.
Yeah, it's January Royal Rumble. They've announced that for Saudi.
Well, this year was February. That's why.
Yeah. They've pulled it to a thingy because don't forget this year as well. We're meant to be getting that extra pay per view in December.
So it's either going to
It's
be
meant to be the John Cena one.
it's either going to be January 24th or January 31st. Well, the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I can see the 31st.
No,
Okay.
I'm going to
No?
say the 24th.
Well,
Wait,
because the Super Bowl.
wait. No, I'm going to say the 31st. The Super Bowl is the 14th, which means 2 weeks prior is the conference championships, and those are only on Sunday. They'll probably do
Right,
a
okay.
Saturday Rumble again, right?
Well, it'll be a two-nighter. The Saudi one's two-nighter. They've already announced that.
No, they didn't.
Saudi Arabia's 2 nights. I'm sure it's 2 nights.
Not on Wikipedia. It just says January Royal Rumble TBA Riyadh Saudi Arabia notes. Doesn't say anything.
Oh, because I thought I read somewhere that they're doing a 2-night Royal Rumble and then they're also there for the Raw as well. Or unless they're doing a SmackDown there, it could be the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they're doing.
When you said 2-night, I thought you meant 2-night Royal Rumble, like actual.
No.
That's possible. Yeah.
So it'll either be the Friday and Saturday they're there, or it'll be the Saturday and
Sunday.
Monday, really. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, but then they'll film Raw again on the Sunday.
Monday. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That way. I mean, that's that one there. But I know they want to go to 2-night Royal Rumbles because that's the next one that Ariel Manuel's come and said that he wants to do. Is we're gonna have a 2-night Royal Rumble soon.
I wish they would just release the date so I can attempt to plan, but whatever. They don't care about that.
But anyway, we've got off of WrestleMania.
Back to WrestleMania.
So I was going to say, so we have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Jey Uso after he defeated Gunther by submission. The next match that we then had was the New Day defeated the War Raiders to become the new World Tag Team Champions. Now, I've got a few people have got an opinion on this match too. It was not needed at WrestleMania because there was no Biggie interference. There was no anything like that, and it could have been replaced by any other match. But what do you think on that one?
You could have thrown a triple threat TLC on there.
Yeah, which is now happening on SmackDown for some reason. I don't quite know why, but that match wasn't needed on WrestleMania. I kind of agree, but they kind of did that one there. Next one that we then had was Jade Cargill defeating Naomi via pinfall.
Speaking of matches that didn't need to be on WrestleMania.
Yeah. Do you think that was the right call? Or do you think Naomi should have won that one? Because she's so over as a heel at the moment.
Jade should have won. Jade didn't need it.
Fair enough. Next one, then we had Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight to become the new United States champion. I think we all knew that was coming. That one was all coming.
That was needed for sure.
Yeah, that one I think we knew was coming and done. And then we had El Grande Americano defeating Ray Phoenix in the end. Now, we still don't know who El Grande Americano is. It could be anyone.
Even though we know.
I've heard such names as Kurt Angle.
He wasn't on Raw, right?
No, because he's on vacation. He's on celebration vacation, apparently, according to Chad Gable.
Was Gable on Raw?
Gable was on Raw, yeah. Because Gable came out and said that he's heard from his dear friend El Grande Americano, and El Grande is on a tour of the world celebrating his win at WrestleMania. So that's what it was. Like I said, I've heard such names as Vince McMahon under a mask, Hulk Hogan under the mask. He's reviving his All-American gimmick, his Mr. American gimmick, basically.
Omos,
stuff like that. I've heard so many names and stuff. It's quite a mystery, and I think it's going to be a mystery for quite a while to who it is. So that's that one. We then had Tiffany Stratton defeating Charlotte Flair to retain her women's championship. Now, I'm shocked because a couple of months back there was reports out that Charlotte was winning because she had only agreed to come back to win. But then there's now
Tiffany said, "Doesn't work for me, sister."
Yeah, but there was actually a report down that when they went off script and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently Charlotte went a bit too far, and there's a report down that it's sort of seen as a punishment because she was meant to win. But then it was basically done as like a punishment because of how far they went off the script. It's it's kind of sort of done that way. So that's the thing. See, it's like, do they kind of have they punished her? a little bit? Do you think like it's that one or what? Like,
I mean, I guess
do you
technically they
personally think?
did, but like Tiffany should have won from the jump, so Charlotte didn't
Yeah,
need
because
this.
even WrestleVotes came out and said that Charlotte was planned in to win the championship. She was planned in. She had been planned in since her return. That she was literally only coming in to win the championship and that. Because they want her to basically beat now John Cena's record of the 17. Because they were going to originally have her beat her dad's record. So she's going to get like I think she's on 14 at the moment, championship wins. So she's only got a few more to go.
I feel like they always change up her number.
Yeah, it's over 13 or 14 or something like that, or I don't know how many she's on. But yeah, so that's that one. Right, and then we then have the main event.
Whoa. Time out. Now this is Logan Paul revealed that he and his team offered Stone Cold Steve Austin $1 million to wear a Prime bottle costume at WrestleMania 41, but Austin turned it down. Austin, maybe that would have been the safer option.
Yeah, that might have been. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that one. Yeah, we'll get into that
later.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but yeah, we'll get into that one. But yeah, and then the main event for night one, in shocking fashion, obviously we then had Seth Rollins defeating CM Punk and Roman Reigns by Seth Rollins actually teaming with Paul Heyman, and that. So that was actually a pretty good ending. Seth obviously turning and teaming with Heyman.
When Heyman hit Roman with the low blow and Rollins was watching it on the screen and he didn't even turn around, that was cool. And then he just puts his hand out and grabs the chair. That was good.
Yeah, was you? Yeah, I was like, that was really cool to have it done that and stuff. But yeah, obviously it was a shocking turn. Everyone's upset. You should have seen it. You got loads of people online now, like doing hate things for Seth and that. They're like, "How did you do this? You took away the wise man from Roman." And stuff like that,
it's a growing stable too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's going to be another one bit, I think.
I'll get into who I want to see.
Yeah. I think there's one or two more coming into it because it's going to be like the new evolution.
I think there's at least one more male and one more female hint that can be joining.
Yeah. We'll get into that after we've done this. So let's get through night 2, and then we can get into that one.
Yep.
Night 2 then, so we had Io Sky successfully defend against Bianca and Rhea.
Awesome
so she's
match.
Still the Women's World Championship. I can see, though, because obviously what happened on Raw, I think Rhea's going to win that title back at some point. They're going to blatantly put the title back on Rhea. She's Triple H's like female version of Roman, basically. One of his ones that he loves.
She'll get it back eventually, sure, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to win the title
winning,
back.
I think, was the right call.
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's on that. Drew McIntyre finally defeated Damian Priest in that Sin City Street Fight in that one of that once in a lifetime match that we've had. Never seen a match between those two before.
I was not excited for this match at all, but both of them actually did really good. Drew tweeting that he's still bored at work.
She was still in the match, yeah.
And it was a brutal match, but it was good.
I like the bit, where his brother ran up to the ringside and gave him his phone just
because I was like, "Who is that?" And then I remembered him from last year. I'm like, "Oh, that's his brother or brother-in-law, one of the two."
It's his brother,
and he just the tweet, "Still bored at work." So wait, keep talking, and I'll bring up Drew McIntyre's tweets.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, so many of the board at work ones, isn't it? And then we moved then to the next match then, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship, where we have a new Intercontinental Champion, Dominic Mysterio. And I tell you what, those boos for Dom has now turned into massive cheers. But it's apparently as well, it's now come down that, when he was leaving, then he ran back.
Yeah. That was improvised, right?
Yeah, that was improvised. That was completely unplanned. He was living in the moment and that, and he literally went down to there and that, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's probably going to get in trouble because it's wasting time." But no,
who cares?
It was perfectly fine.
Who cares?
He was living in the moment. That's
the
moment. First time. What was that? That's like the first time in 2 years that he's actually been cheered. The
The crowd was into him. The crowd ate it up. Yeah.
They say they want to try and do more things for the fans. So I mean, so that's the easiest answer is to obviously do it that way, isn't it? You know.
No, let him live his moment. But going back to the McIntyre thing, unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But at one point, his pinned tweet was the tweet from last year's WrestleMania when it said "bored at work," and then he posted the still bored at work. So at one point in time, his last two tweets were bored at work, and then still bored at work.
Fair enough. That's pretty
So I was like, okay, that's pretty funny, but nah, it's not there anymore. But yeah, good. Listen. I think we all knew Braun was losing this title to go on to bigger and better things, which he is doing.
Yeah.
And Dom. I don't know. I didn't expect Dom to get cheered like that.
No, because I would have thought he might have come out and still boom, but it seems like everyone wanted Dom to win that title, and now that obviously he's Intercontinental Champion.
The crowd was for it. And listen, I picked Dom. I was fully expecting it. I was happy for it.
Well,
get that Mania moment, kid.
I actually had some people there as well in the crowd and stuff. Like they were saying that they were actually there live, and they said the cheers that you heard on TV done nothing to what it was in the arena. I
can imagine. Yeah.
Those cheers in the arena were twice as loud, basically, as what you heard on TV.
Dirty Dom.
So Dominic Mysterio now that. We then move on to the next match then with Randy Orton's Open Challenge, which was answered by a certain Mr. Joe Hendry.
I didn't see that one coming.
First time in WrestleMania history.
That's why they did it.
TNA champion has ever had a WrestleMania match, but an active TNA champion has had a WrestleMania.
That brought the belt into Mania. Yeah. So, and that's why they did it. And I mean, Hendry's legit hurt, so like that's why it was only a 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it got the job done. And then the Orton bringing him up, patting him on the chest, RKO again.
Did you see the interview that he done with Ariel?
Busted open?
No. Hendry done an interview with what's his name?
Bubba Ray.
Ariel? No.
I saw the one he did with Bubba Ray.
He basically revealed to how the Mania match came together, and he goes, what it was he goes, I was literally just sat at home, and my phone went off, and it was Triple H, and he goes, he picked it up thinking, they want me for NXT or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, it literally went down like this. It goes, it was Hunter on the other end of the phone, and he turned around and said, Joe, we want you to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania because Randy's actually personally requested you. And he goes, Randy says he's a huge fan of your work and he wants to face you. And that he somehow said, are you free? Because we know you're going to be in Vegas for the WrestleCon thing. Would you be willing to come on in and take a loss to Randy Orton, basically? And that, and he goes, and he was like, he turned around and said, he goes, I was sat there for a couple of minutes just processing it, thinking to myself, like, shit, this is like, I'm going to be on a WrestleMania stage now, whilst I'm in TNA, first time in history. And he just turned around and went, absolutely. He goes, I'm not giving up this opportunity. And that basically,
Could you imagine? Do you want to lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania in front of 60,000 people with the TNA Championship? And he's like, let me think about that. I'm gonna have to ponder that. Yeah, I'm sure he was like, yeah.
But
you're only giving me 3 minutes. Fine.
Well, he turned around and said that basically Triple H rang him a week ago. Literally, that's how quickly it was done. Was he rang him a week ago, and then they got the merchandise done for it. So because that stuff that he wore, the T-shirt that he wore,
I found this quite. Say his name and he appears at WrestleMania or something.
What I found this quite interesting is during that 3-minute time frame when they done it, the merchandise teams in Vegas got all of those shirts out of the merchandise stands in Vegas.
Well, because they didn't want to spoil it. Yeah.
So they had them ready in that, and as soon as he came out, they had the shirts out for sale. Basically,
that's cool.
Like that. So he was saying that. He said it was pretty cool how Triple H actually rang him. They agreed the match, and then within a week, they had the merchandise ready, shipped to Vegas, and then done it that way. Because they somehow said that otherwise they didn't know who the opponent was going to be, so they might not have. So they wouldn't have planned that merchandise in. So they obviously decided on the design, sent a shirt to Joe. Well, gave Joe a shirt as well. Got thousands of copies printed out, ready for the merchandise stand in Vegas, and that got it shipped out to Vegas, and then sort of go that way. So it's pretty cool to have it that within a week.
Thank God Joe said yes.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? So yeah,
I thought it was going to be Rusev.
So did I, but obviously, but it's the thing is when they opened the doors up and there was that person standing there, everyone was like, "Is that Nick Aldis?"
No. Do you know who I thought it was?
Who?
Aiden English.
Did you? Oh, what, coming out to the Rusev Day?
To do the Rusev, I was like, in English. And then I heard the music, I'm like, oh. I really thought it, I honestly thought when I just saw the figure, I didn't think Joe Hendry. I just saw a figure and I'm like, oh, it's in English.
Yeah, but no, but again, people who were in the arena turned around and said that he basically got the biggest pop of the weekend.
Oh, yeah, that pop was huge. Yeah, for sure.
As soon as they heard say his name and he appears in that, literally, that place just erupted.
I think I was the only one to think of Aiden English in the moment.
I don't know. But like I said, all I've seen online, as soon as they seen that figure there, everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's Eldis," and that, like he's come back to wrestling and stuff, and like he's gonna face him, and I was like,
the first thing that went through my head was, "Oh, it's Aiden English to do."
Because the rumor was it was Rusev, wasn't it? But it seems like he's a Rusev Day thing, so
we'll get to Rusev in a minute.
Yeah, so we'll quickly skip on through the rest of them then. So we had Logan Paul defeat AJ Styles. Lots of people are kicking off over that as well because they're saying, how can you have Logan Paul defeat someone such as AJ Styles?
Because Logan Paul is great. That's why.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then in a completely wasted opportunity, I don't know why, but obviously we had Lara Valkyria and her mystery partner, which was Becky Lynch.
I thought you were starting another segment. Okay.
So obviously Becky came back to team with Lyra to then win the championship, which then they lost on Raw, which made really no sense the next night. But it's also come down as well to try and say that was actually Becky's idea. She apparently the story that came out from it is she refused to come back unless there was a compelling storyline, and that was the storyline that she came up with, was to be Lyra's partner, win the titles, lose the titles, then turn on Lyra, basically, to start off her heel run.
I mean, if it goes in the direction that we're thinking it's going, this is going to be great. So that's that one. And then the last match of the night was John Cena and Cody Rhodes, in which John Cena finally got the number 17 and is the new undisputed WWE champion. Ooh. You forgot a segment.
Oh yeah, the Stone Cold thing. Yeah, we're getting okay. Then yes, the Stone Cold thing.
Because when you said a wasted segment, I was like, he was wasted. All right.
So obviously when the glass shattered, he then came out. Did you see as well? He actually crashed before he even made it onto the ramp.
He missed the ramp to get onto the ramp. Do you know how drunk you have to be to miss a ramp?
That big as well.
And then I think the funniest part of it all, he crashes, whatever. Nick Khan goes to check on that woman. Stone Cold does this thing, leaves the ring, tries to get back on the four-wheeler. And Nick Khan was like, no, walk away, buddy. This is not happening.
Yeah, walk away, because otherwise there's going to be more accidents. Yeah. How
drunk was he? Like,
but I reckon that woman's been offered probably some tickets to another event.
Probably. But
probably some merchandise or
something. But I think the funniest thing from the Stone Cold thing was 63,000, whatever. But we're gonna double check. 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, how long is he gonna go with this?
We'll still be here in 2 hours of him counting.
He's like, oh, I lost my count. All right, we'll start over. 1, 2.
Somebody was saying this. Apparently, both nights were sold out, but night 1 day announced 61 and night 2 day announced 63 in the same arena.
It wasn't sold out. I saw some sections were tarped off. Not a lot, but I mean.
But it was just stupid because people were saying that. They were like, so how can it be How can it be sold out both nights where one night was 61,000 and the next night was 63? You can't probably say it's sold out both nights, but
I mean, it was a ton of people in attendance, regardless. So,
but it was over 60K, whatever, both nights. So I mean, so that was on there. But no, and one of the other highlights as well from the weekend that I found out, which I looked at, was night one. Green shirt guy was actually a bell ringer. Yeah, she got the opportunity to bell for one of the matches. And night two, he actually made his own WrestleMania entrance. He actually had a
With
WrestleMania
Wade Barrett.
with Wade Barrett. Yeah, so green shirt guy is now he's had all that as well. But
Wild.
somebody said though, for that experience that weekend, it was $50K for that weekend for have that experience to be the bell ringer and to have your own WrestleMania entrance with another superstar. It was $50K basically.
It seems like he's got it. So
yeah, well, he's at everybody's show, but there's rumors though that he's like family of an employee. That's what it is. There's rumors that he's either family of an employee or he's like an undercover security guard.
I think he just came. I think he's just come from wealth. That's my personal opinion.
And he can afford tickets for every single show, like front row, same seat every time.
If his family is a millionaire, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the thing though: is he going to be able? Because if you notice, it's literally the exact same seat. So unless he reserves every single seat when it comes to it, or he's literally the first person in line every single time to buy tickets for it, because somebody else would tap up that seat, wouldn't they?
Maybe they have that seat blocked out for him just because they know.
Probably.
But
Yeah,
possibly. I just think he comes from wealth, Like
Probably,
if your family has millions, what's 20,000 for a ringside seat at WrestleMania?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but we'll never know. They'll probably never come out. But so that. So right, so let's get into it then. So who do you think then is the extra one or two in Paul Heyman's stable? I would say because not only Seth, not only Bronze, it's Paul Heyman. So who would you say? I'm going along the lines as to the way we're trying to see it is it's going to be the new Evolution, but with a manager. So it's going to be Evolution with a manager. So you're going to then have what? So who would you say Seth is out of Evolution, really? Out of the four of them? So Seth's Triple H, Goldberg being the Batista?
Goldberg.
Sorry, not Goldberg. Braun Breaker. Do you reckon it would be
Braun Breaker being Batista?
Heyman
being the Flair-ish.
Well, I was going to say, I wouldn't really count Heyman in it because Heyman's sort of the manager.
The mouthpiece, the mouthpiece. So, he's the closest to Flair. Yeah. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I've always liked this guy, and he's kind of fallen off the wayside the last few years, but he's young, he is talented, and you could put him in this stable, and he would kill it. Austin Theory.
Could work, yeah.
I mean, think about it. He's the Randy Orton of the group. He's young. He just needs that little step in the next direction to get going.
Yeah.
And then, and plus, he's not the best talker. Yeah. He wouldn't need to talk with Seth and Heyman there. Yeah. And plus, is he great in the ring? Yes, he is. So it would be phenomenal. And then, plus, you add a little to it and you add Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that was going to be my feeling as well. Is Becky coming in to obviously team up alongside Seth and everything out again, and she's like the heel sort of. Obviously, there wasn't any females in Evolution, but I mean,
no. But you don't have to do a carbon copy of Evolution. You can do a general. Yes, you could do a general outline of Evolution and then tweak it where
Yeah, so that could obviously be that one there. So I kind of agree with you there, but I don't know whether, because this is the thing, is going back a couple of years, if you think about it, they showed Heyman on NXT talking to Ava, and that, through that NXT Anonymous account which they were doing. They had Heyman talking to Ava. Now, I'm just wondering whether it could be an NXT star to link back to that.
And I mean, this guy isn't really young per se in age, but he is an up and comer in WWE standards.
Yeah,
Ethan Page.
Yeah. I mean, because
like I said, he's not like Orton age with Evolution like Theory is. No. But also, I want Theory because Ethan Page will be fine. He's a fine mic guy. He's a fine wrestler. Theory doesn't really have it on the mic. You put Theory in that group, and it's just a stone cold killer.
Yeah. Because in that way, then you can then do them versus say the Wyatts at one point. You could have that. Them versus Judgment Day.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna find out who that new member is soon because
Yeah.
I'm thinking at Backlash it's gonna be Punk and Roman versus Seth and Braun.
Apparently not. Apparently that's been debunked because Fightful put that. Somebody put that report out. And
Why?
Fightful debunked it. Roman is apparently now wrote off until SummerSlam. They've wrote Roman off until SummerSlam for him to then come back and
No.
face one of them then.
Yeah,
Apparently.
so that would be when no. Wait. You know what they could do?
What?
Seth versus Roman one of the nights.
That's what I was thinking was
Braun
'cause
versus Punk. Or
Well,
Braun versus Roman, Seth versus Punk.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta do Seth Roman.
the original plans was Roman Seth for night 2 to close out night 2. That's what the original plans were.
Well, I don't know. That's definitely
Right.
not closing it out.
No. But I mean, but even if that closes out night 1, for example, that could be your night 1 main event, and night 2's obviously then whoever Cena's facing. Or
Yeah,
Cena
or-
Orton, isn't it? Night 2. Or
Yeah, I
whatever,
guess
really.
Jay doesn't have to close the show.
No, because again, they could have Jay do that one. Because that's what I was thinking. See, is if you're going to have Roman Seth, that needs to main event one of the nights. If you're doing Roman Seth, that has to main event one of the nights and stuff. So,
You could,
like, if
you
they
could also, so like, let's say night 1, Seth and Roman close. You could kick off the night with Punk and Braun Breaker.
you could do, so then that one, and that brings it in, So you've got that one, then. So you've then got it. They're both ends, aren't they? So that stables both ends there, and Heyman can then show up with both sides in that way, couldn't he?
Well, so whoever this third member is, because there's clearly going to be a third member coming.
Yeah.
I think they're going to cost Roman or Punk the match, and we're going to find out who it is.
Yeah.
I was hoping at Backlash, but
yeah, I mean, that's just what it was because that tag match was rumored, and then it was over Fightful or it was PWN. I can't remember which one it was. They basically debunked it, and someone said this is not the plan. And it's been said that Roman is now out until until they're writing Roman off to add to the attack. So to add to the attack, obviously from Breaker, they're writing Roman out.
He took a spear.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, but you know what Roman's like, though. He doesn't work every pay per view, does he? He only has to set.
But even do it in Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but obviously, don't forget the main focus at the moment is Cena. So are they really going to bring Roman in?
Listen. Money in the Bank is perfect for these 4 guys because that way you don't have to put them in the match. And quite frankly, I hate it because I wanted Braun Breaker to be the next Money in the Bank. Yeah. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I was going to say that. Would you not put one of them in the match? They can then challenge.
That's what I'm saying. If they, I don't think Seth's going to win Money in the Bank. Not again. Braun as the understudy, definitely not. Roman, no. Punk, no. So, and that's an excuse to not have them in the match if they're doing something else.
Yeah, that's about it.
And plus, it's in LA. You gotta.
I mean, he could be back for that, but obviously, this is the thing: is that the reported tag match has apparently been debunked. But again, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If it does happen to be that tag match, then that's cool. Then then they can then bring a third member there.
And then the third member can cost Roman and Punk, and that's how we find out who the third member is.
Yeah. But could you really see the Austin Theory costing Roman and Punk? That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, the history is there with Theory and Roman.
The only other person,
not really Theory and Punk, but
the only other person who I could see is maybe someone like Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, I think he's too big. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Drew joining this. Braun is great, but he's not a leader like Seth would be.
No.
Drew is too big to be the understudy. You need somebody that's like up and coming, that's kind of lost in the shuffle right now. That's why I say Austin Theory. And Austin Theory could easily cost Roman Reigns. It's not.
Yeah.
You hit him in the chair. You hit him in the back with a chair. Call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somebody the other day now was bringing up a good idea was because obviously for Survivor Series they normally do the brand versus brand sometimes or whatever.
Yeah.
Why don't you actually have Drew, say for example, leading a SmackDown one? So you have Drew basically making up his own faction as well. Then so you say have Drew and a couple of SmackDown guys, and then you then have obviously then Seth's team really on the other side.
Well, I think.
Seth Braun and the third person versus say Drew and 2 others from Thingy.
I think eventually this is going to lead to War Games. Seth Braun, Seth's team versus Roman's team.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean,
because obviously, because this thing is, don't forget, we've got the draft coming up soon as well.
and you could get special with it. You could get special with it. You could do, let's say Roman, Punk, Jay, Jimmy, and
Yeah.
like Bianca Belair. I'm sorry, not or well, you would have to do Naomi, and you would have to. I don't want that though. I want somebody. I want
Or
somebody
Nia.
like.
Bring it Nia.
Again, I want somebody like a Bianca or a Rhea or something. But then you could do Seth, Braun, Theory. If they had a fourth guy, Becky Bella, Becky Lynch,
Becky Hogan.
or you just do Roman, Punk, Jay, Bianca versus. I don't want Naomi or Nia in that match. That would just ruin it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, that's fine. I mean, well, there's loads of possibilities, but we'll find out soon. Possibly a Backlash or sooner. You never know. They could do it on Raw again. You never know. To try and
Saturday, May 10th. What are we, like 3 weeks out or something?
So yeah. So yeah, no, we're not them far them from whatever they're doing in June, in it or whatever. So
Money in the Bank is like June 7th, and then there's that Worlds Collide question.
Worlds Collide. Yeah, with AAA wrestling and NXT in it. So
don't be shocked if Del Rio gets his walking papers soon.
Well, Del Rio versus who's the NXT champion at the moment? Oba. Del Rio versus Oba Femi. Yes.
Oh my God, Del Rio would get destroyed. No, Del Rio's a PR nightmare, so don't be shocked if they cut him.
So, but yeah, I mean,
because now all the contracts belong to WWE, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So,
Del Rio.
Because it's not like a partnership like what they've got with TNA. They actually own the company now. Yeah. So they own everything. They own the wrestlers. Well, obviously they don't own them exactly, but they own their contracts.
They own the contracts.
Yeah, because that's why they were saying. That's why that rumor was coming around saying that they're rebranding to NXT Mexico. I can't remember who even put that one out, but again, it could have been a Fightful or a PWA Insider or whatever was saying that they're rebranding to NXT Mexico. Right. Basically, and then adding it on as a division of NXT. Right.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because they announced that at Stand and Deliver, right? Or after Stand and Deliver?
They announced it Mania Night 1 kickoff.
Oh, that's what that was. I think it was outside the Stand and Deliver building. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Well, because they announced it Mania Night 1 kickoff. That's when they done it. Because everyone was saying about it because they brought. Because Triple H was there, and they obviously had all of the owners of AAA as well out there, and of course, because it would have been after that because you had Stephanie Vacora there, you actually had the NXT stars there who had done it. So you had Stephanie Vacora, you had Penta, you had stars like that basically at the actual announcement for it because Rey Mysterio was there even after they had just announced he was injured. Rey Mysterio was there. So that was the thing. So,
he ain't that injured. Even though he couldn't make Mania.
Because they said he's injured. Apparently there was they were saying though that it was a groin strain. Apparently he had a groin strain. That's what Ray's injury was. So
he had a what?
So they said anyway. Something to do with his groin, I think.
Oh,
something to do with his groin.
Did you say a groin strain?
I think that's what you said. A groin strain.
Okay. Yeah. So what I heard you just say, I heard you say a green screen.
Oh, no.
And I was like, what? They green screened him into that video? I'm like, it looked like he was there. But a groin strain makes a lot more sense for what you're talking about.
Apparently, yeah, that's what he said. Because Ray came out and said that himself, apparently. Is that he, because he put something out like after WrestleMania. So I said it was a shame that I suffered a groin strain on SmackDown and stuff and was unable to compete at Mania.
That was so stupid. He is 50 years old. How many WrestleManias does this man have left? And you're going to have him wrestle the night before?
Yeah.
That was beyond stupid.
Yeah. Big time. But no, that was that. That's this week's show done then. So we might as well sort of move on. What you got there? You got the signs. So Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. The things are going across the bottom of the screen to hit subscribe to. So that is my one, which is For You Wrestling, Bobby's Breakdowns, and obviously the DKO Energy account. That's both on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, we've got some good things coming up. I will say now is that things to look out for is actually now tomorrow because they moved it. So it's not today. I was meant to be doing the triple today, but I'm not lucky now. I'm now doing double. I'm only doing 2 shows today. Tomorrow now, I'm actually on a press call with the legend himself, Joe Hendry.
Wow.
That will be out on TNA's socials later tomorrow, I think it is. I think they've said it will be out on a Friday or Saturday. It'll be released then. Along with another couple of journalists. That's going to be that one, so keep an eye out for that one. And also on Friday, myself and Bobby are doing a live uncut special for with lovely little lady called Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah, we're going to Hollywood. She's a star of Glow on Netflix, and she's also a best-selling author. So we'll be interviewing her on Thingy.
I'm gonna have to ask her tomorrow if she's gonna be at WrestleCon in New Jersey.
Well, she was at the Vegas one, wasn't she?
That's what I'm saying. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
not impossible. I'm gonna have to ask her.
Yeah. But yeah, so once again, thank you for tuning in this week. We will see you next week for another edition. Yes, thank you. And this is Zero signing out for the week.
And I'm Bobby. We will see you all next time. Later.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.